Going on 6 years, that's the short answer. But it's not quite that simple. Hi, Ray here. I'm glad you could join me. And if you haven't subscribed, now's the perfect time if you're interested in photography and video and a few other random topics like this. I should mention at the beginning that this channel doesn't represent my first foray into video. I created my first YouTube channel going on 12 years ago now. And before that, I did host my videos on my own related website before I realized that was really restricting their reach. At the height, the VeloWeb, that first YouTube channel, was receiving over 1,000 video views daily, based on less than 20 videos and less than 1,000 subs. The most successful video there, shot in 640p, has accrued over 700,000 views. And I'll link the channel at the end of this video if you're interested in cycling. It was recently demonetized, however, because I didn't upload for over 6 months, because I was concentrating on this channel. And when it comes to this channel, I uploaded the first video in December 2015 to announce the results of a print draw. The second, posted the next spring, matting and framing tutorial, languished until it took off. I think it was about a year or so later, and it's just passed 32,000 views. That's my best performing evergreen content here. As I've mentioned before, this channel got caught up in the Adpocalypse purge of 2017, I think it was, and was demonetized along with zillions of other innocent channels. So I didn't really get serious about developing this channel until last year. I hit the 1,000 sub mark last January, followed by the 4,000 watch time hours, the requisite for monetization, in June. So after taking 5 years to attract 1,000 subscribers, I've gained another 1,000 in just under 4 months. I guess it's a matter of momentum, or possibly I'm learning how to make better content. So what did I do to accelerate things? I guess the main thing is I made a commitment to give it my best. It hasn't been easy, what with COVID and 2 major surgeries just 4 months apart. Believe me, I've often been tempted to give up. On the other hand, these calamities have given me some time to spare. I already knew that YouTube isn't the shortcut to fame and fortune so many think it is, so my expectations were, and I think are, realistic. That means I'm in it for the right reasons, to express my creativity. And I think I'm well prepared in that sense because I've dedicated my life to photography. I've gambled my welfare, personal and financial, on my love for the photographic process. The 12th century Persian poet Rumi wrote, "Gamble everything for love, if you're a true human being. If not, leave this gathering. Half-heartedness doesn't reach into majesty." And a version of Rumi's poem was read at mine and Amanda's wedding. He wasn't talking about a trip to the casino. I think the same goes for the pursuit of the perfect photograph, that defining image. It's always elusive. The muse is fickle. As a commercial photographer, my job was to deliver for the client. Now, at least partially retired, I have more time to indulge my personal whims, and that comes with its own challenges. Most of my work is now self-assigned. Most of us don't get to follow what we love, but then we do have choice. I think what's at the heart of Rumi's wise words is that by following our heart rather than focusing on reward, acting without guile, we're really following the path the world has put before us. For me, there's never been any other way that I could have gone, really. Sure, I've questioned 1,000 times or more the life I've chosen because it's come with personal costs as well as rewards. Costs, I think, many aren't prepared to pay. And speaking of pay, that's one thing the creative life doesn't guarantee either, at least not consistently, unless you manage to make your way right to the very top. And even then, there's plenty of stars who fall from the heavens at the apex of their careers. So back to Earth. YouTube, as a creative endeavor, is only a platform, an empty stage. You bring the script, the lights, the action, and you decide on the schedule. My channel analytics tell me that my labors keep a fair number of you happy and returning, and ultimately, you're the reason, as numbers prove, this channel has gone anywhere at all. But herein lies a problem, because what if trying to please you causes me to play it safe, tempts me not to gamble? Is the algorithm programmed for mediocrity? It certainly penalizes if I stray too far out of the niche I haphazardly created with that first successful tutorial, I guess. Something to think about. In the meantime, my object is not so much to become a slave to the numbers. I've never been a numbers guy. I'm really committed to the journey rather than reaching some fabled summit. One thing's for sure, I am enjoying the journey, and I hope, if you're one of my returning subscribers, that you're enjoying where I'm taking this channel. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Practically, I get lost in the process of making these videos. The challenge of solving problems lies at the center of creativity, doesn't it? For me, it's finding that rhythm or whatever it is that's rooted in the decades I've committed to the visual arts. My happy place, whether it's chasing a shot on the street or setting up studio lighting, that's what focuses my mind. I'm not thinking about reaching the next subscriber milestone or worrying about a dip in watch time or if retention rates will prove acceptable. I'm just in the moment. And I think that's the key to YouTube or any endeavor, because if it ain't fun, why do it? I don't know if this mind dump helps anyone who found this video looking for answers to building a channel. I know from watching other channels, some find their footing in no time at all. Others, like this one, take years to reach even a modest audience. So the work must contain value for me as well as you. And I can only draw from some of the kind responses I've gotten that enough people find value in my work. So thank you again. Creative work isn't all fun and games. It's often agonizing. Listen, I can tell you some of the videos on this channel, some that turned out well, some that didn't, have brought me to tears of frustration. And that's another, I think, great big lie of the pursuit of happiness meme. But speaking of memes, I'm also not going to fully endorse that old saw about suffering for your art. Again, if it's not fun, why do it? But certainly a 9-to-5 job with perks like extended medical and dental is often a lot easier than going it alone, as long as you're comfortable working for someone else's success. Of course, I'm not ignoring the whole gig economy thing everyone talks about. It's just that I've spent most of my career in it. It's not a new phenomenon. We just called it freelancing. And I'm not ignoring the irony of discussing this at the whim of the greatest gig economy in history, one I'm grateful to have access to, because I don't have the time or inclination to build Raymond Parker Television Incorporated, and YouTube provides an incredible opportunity. But the competition is fierce, and so I continue to experiment.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
As well as indulge my own personal interests outside of the strictly photography-related content. Videos that don't always adhere to what the algorithm, also known as my audience, has responded to favorably in the past. That sometimes results in an initial loss of subscribers with an off-topic video, but then replacement with people, I guess, who share that interest. So we'll see how things shape up. Ideally, this community, that's you, will evolve along with my explorations into a cohesive, interested, and interesting crowd. When I was a climber, I was inspired by many other climbers' stories, as I was and am by great photographers, and not a few climbers were great photographers. I'm not sure if Gusto Gervasutti, a leading Italian climber of the 1930s, was a great photographer, but he was an excellent writer. And I've carried this book, illustrated mostly with photos by other photographers, with me for 40 years. It's full of amazing accounts of his climbs, and this quote, which I return to whenever I'm feeling bored or ungrateful, is just one of my favorite quotes. I do not know why people associate a man's happiness with the satisfaction of all his desires, and I presume that goes for women as well. A kind of eternal beatitude, which could just as well be a state of complete apathy. The completely happy man would have nothing left to say, nothing left to do. For myself, I prefer an unattainable happiness, always near, always elusive. The prize, which vanishes every time one grasps it, to give way to another, still harder, still more distant. The moments when the heart really overflows with happiness come when the sense of life is heightened by tension and struggle, the actual moments of conquest, or more often, of defeat, and not the dead moments when victory has been achieved. The majesty, as Rumi put it, then, is not to be found in realization of one's ambitions, but in gambling those away for love. Are you in love with your work? I'm looking forward to the next elusive summit, whatever that turns out to be, and whether I reach the goal or not. I hope to see you there. In the meantime, take care of yourselves. Cheers, and we'll see you again soon.